China's Belt and Road Initiative has a new challenger, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, or IMEC. What is it? It's by far the most ambitious geo-economic and geostrategic project. A project that has the potential to counter China's hegemony, and a project that will firmly place India on the global map. I mean, just look at the sheer scale of IMEC and those who have joined it. There is India, of course, and then we have the UAE, Saudi Arabia, the European Union, France, Italy, Germany, and the United States. These are some of the most powerful nations in the world, and they have come together to secure supply chains, facilitate trade, and generate jobs. On paper, this seems like a great idea, a game changer of sorts. The IMEC may have great potential, but how it will finally turn out depends on a host of factors. Let's tell you all about this grand plan, its many advantages, also its many challenges. Hello and welcome. This is Gravitas Plus. I am Molly Gambhir, and I come to you with the story of IMEC. It was launched at the G20 summit in New Delhi. The Indian Prime Minister has said that it will usher in a new chapter in global connectivity and sustainable development. He also said the corridor would act as a quote-unquote major medium of economic integration between India, West Asia and Europe.
आज हम सब ने एक महत्वपूर्ण और ऐतिहासिक समझौता संपन्न होते हुए देखा है। आने वाले समय में यह भारत, पश्चिम एशिया और यूरोप के बीच इकोनॉमिक इंटीग्रेशन का प्रभावी माध्यम होगा।
In practice, it means we're focusing on regional infrastructure projects that deliver results across multiple countries and in multiple sectors.
This is nothing but historic. It will be the most direct connection to date between India, the Arabian Gulf, and Europe, with a rail link that will make trade between India and Europe 40% faster.
So what exactly does this project entail? What are its objectives? There are a host of them. Number one, generating economic growth. 2, incentivizing new investments. 3, connecting Asia and Europe with commercial hubs. 4, facilitating development and export of clean energy. 5, supporting existing trade and manufacturing synergies. Number 6, strengthening food security and supply chains. And what exactly will it look like? Well, IMEC will be divided into 2 corridors, an eastern corridor connecting India to the Gulf region and a northern corridor connecting the Gulf region to Europe. This is what the corridors will look like together. They will link Mumbai to Jebel Ali in the UAE, to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, to Haifa in Israel, all the way to the city of Piraeus in Greece. To break it down further, the passage of the corridor will begin in Mumbai, and from here, ships with cargo bound for Europe will dock in the UAE. And from here, the cargo will go through Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Israel by rail, and eventually by ship to the Greek port of Piraeus. Next question, what will this corridor include? Well, it will have a railway line, a ship rail transit network, road transport routes, a hydrogen pipeline, and high-density optical fiber cables. How will this corridor benefit its member nations? Well, to start with, it will cut the travel time for transporting goods by 40%. It will also reduce the cost of transporting goods by 30%. How much will the project cost? At least $20 billion, says the EU. This includes the cost for laying a rail network, a state-of-the-art optical fiber network, and the planned hydrogen pipeline. Has work on these projects started? Yes, at least on some of them. Reports say sections of the IMEC rail network are getting ready or are up and running. This includes the 140-kilometer rail link from Dubai to the Saudi border. It has been completed. And then there is the Saudi north-south rail link, which is over 1,000 kilometers long and reaches the Jordanian border. This too is reportedly ready. And next, there is a 300-kilometer link from Jordan to the Israeli port of Haifa. This one is still under construction. So you know what the project is and what it envisions to be. Let's now get down to the most important question. How does the IMEC compare with the BRI, China's Belt and Road Initiative? Well, in terms of objectives, both the mega projects are quite similar. That said, the Belt and Road Initiative is much bigger in scale. It has more than 150 countries as its members, over 30 international organizations, over 3,000 projects, and is running at a cost of $1 trillion. Plus, it was announced in 2013. In that sense, it is already a decade ahead of the IMEC. That's not all. Some IMEC signatories are also part of the BRI, like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Italy. But Italy has signaled leaving the BRI, saying the project does not serve its strategic purposes. In fact, Italy's defense minister has gone to the extent of calling the BRI wicked. Let me quote his exact statement. The choice to join the Silk Road was an improvised and wicked act made by the government of Giuseppe Conte, which led to a double negative result. Will more countries go Italy's way? Will more of them dump the BRI for IMEC? Well, for that to happen, IMEC will have to project itself as a legitimate alternative to the BRI. Here are a few ways through which it can do so. Number one, stimulate economic development. The IMEC will have to usher in economic benefits for its members, not just facilitating better connectivity. The BRI, no matter how predatory, has provided the member nations with a semblance of economic development. Whether that development is happening is another matter. Number two, operationalization. It will be critical for IMEC to meet all its objectives. It will have to push for faster construction of projects, and this will certainly offer competition to the BRI, as its projects remain stalled in many countries. Number three, autonomy. IMEC will have to ensure that the aspirations of its member nations are not marginalized. Unlike the BRI, under which China literally imposes its will on member nations, the IMEC will have to function keeping everyone's ambitions in mind. And to ensure this happens, it will have to overcome certain obstacles. It will have to be insulated from political headwinds like elections, change of governments. Plus, it will have to constantly tackle Beijing's overtures, which will try its best to ensure IMEC does not take off. The bottom line is this. The IMEC is a big moment for New Delhi. It helps India have a high seat on a global connectivity project. It can project India as a safer and more reliable partner than China.